Look no further. We have the real Big Ten football power rankings for this week. Where is your team on the list? Stay tuned. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer. And I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hey, if you're new, hit that free subscribe button as we make our push to 25,000 subscribers. Plus, that way you'll never miss a single episode as we are all Big Ten all the time together. And if you could share, follow, and like, that helps us. Plus, you can hype YouTube videos as well. So power rankings, a stable top half of the conference this week. Plus, we'll take a quick peek at next weekend as well. So I'm going to put this on screen. If you're audio only on Spotify or Apple, no problem. We'll describe it here. Just a list of teams with their logos. And we started off with Indiana at number 1, where they remain. We put them there last week, and we explained it. Because a lot of people were like, wait a minute, Ohio State had been number 1. They haven't lost. They're number 1 in the country. I actually think, and I've gone on the record multiple times in saying this, I think when the first college football playoff rankings come out next week, and they come out next week, and then they're every week after that till the college football playoffs, I actually think that the committee is going to put Indiana number 1 and Ohio State number 2. I think Indiana has a little bit better resume than Ohio State. Both Indiana and Ohio State defeated Illinois. Indiana did it in a lot more convincing fashion. That's where they put over 60 points on the board. And I think Indiana's road win against then top 5 Oregon team is more impressive than Ohio State's win against then number 1 Texas at the beginning of the season. That was a home game, and Texas isn't all that Texas was. So that's what I think the committee is going to do. That's how we have it in our ranking. We've had this for 2 weeks in a row. Indiana 1, Ohio State 2. We do think that they are on a showdown for a Big Ten championship game matchup in December. Got Oregon sitting at number 3. That's where they were last week. Now, I have to admit to you, I was a little bit concerned. Look, they came off the loss at home to Indiana a few weeks ago. Then they traveled to Rutgers and won handily. They come back home and they take on a really troubled Wisconsin team who up to that point had not scored in their previous 2 games. All sorts of problems. And they didn't score for 3 quarters in this game. But you know what? Neither did Oregon for the first half. This game was scoreless until about a minute to go in the first half. And then Oregon was able to put some touchdowns on the board and win this thing. But I thought Oregon should have won in much more convincing fashion. I'll give Wisconsin some credit for showing up. I don't think it's panic time for Oregon by any stretch of the imagination. So don't get me wrong there. I think they're a solid number 3. But just a little pause for thought this week. Now, I've got Iowa at number 4. I've had them at number 4. In fact, the first 5 or 6 on this list are unchanged from last week, which is rare for us. But Iowa, I keep talking about Iowa. They keep putting a lot of points on the board. They keep beating people. This is a good team. They're not, I think it's fair to say, Iowa is not great at any one thing, but they are good at everything. Does that make sense? Like last week in their 41-3 win over Minnesota. And by the way, Minnesota's a good defensive team. I believe going into that game, Minnesota had not given up a touchdown in 6 quarters. And then this was 31-0 at the half. I mean, Iowa just crushed them. But it was the way they did it. They had a passing touchdown. They had a rushing touchdown. They had a defensive pick 6 touchdown. They had a special teams punt return touchdown. They scored 4 different ways in the first half. So, and throwing a field goal. So they scored 5 different ways, but they scored touchdowns 4 different ways. That's what they do. That's what they can do. So we always look at the top 4 because we think 4 Big Ten teams are getting into the playoff. I mean, right now, as of today, it looks like it might only be 3. Somebody needs to get going here, get in that 4th spot and start winning some impressive games and get some Big Ten representation. That's what I think is going to happen. But anyway, Iowa's at 4. USC was at a bye week and sitting at number 5, remaining there. They got I want to say a tough road game at Nebraska under the lights, blackout crowd. So that's going to be an interesting game on Saturday night. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Michigan came back from that loss to USC with an impressive win over Washington and a solid win over Michigan State. So they're at number 6. And I've got Washington at number 7. A couple weeks ago, I moved them down, especially after the Michigan loss. Then I moved them back up 2 spots. They bounced back. I thought they looked really good against Illinois. I think Washington looked like the team I've been telling you all season long that they're going to be. I mean, they pulled out all the stops in that Illinois game. That was a good Illinois team they beat. So naturally got Illinois. I had to drop them 1-8. I can't have them outrank Washington, who just beat them. So that's where I have Illinois at number 8. Nebraska at number 9. And Nebraska is actually my biggest mover here, up 3 spaces. This is more a case of moving people around. I had to move them above Northwestern because they just beat Northwestern. So you got to see Northwestern's there at number 10. It gets complicated here. But nevertheless, Nebraska had a bad loss to Minnesota. Then they beat Northwestern, hosting USC this weekend. And Northwestern falls 2 spaces to number 10 after that loss to Nebraska. All right, that's 1 through 10. We'll flip the script here for the best of the rest. UCLA falls out of our top 10, but only moved them down 1. They lost handily at Indiana. I maybe could have moved them down some more, but I thought they were appropriately placed at 10 last week, so only drop them 1 to 11 this week. Maryland actually move them up 1 from 13 to 12, and they had that loss at UCLA. And now a bye week, and now they're getting ready for Indiana. They moved up 1 because I'm moving other people below them. That's all that really was. Minnesota, like for example, I had to drop them 2 spaces after getting crushed by Iowa, sitting at number 13. Penn State, they had the loss to Iowa. They lost 4 in a row. They got the bye. Now they got number 1 Ohio State. Look, I've said this before. If Penn State goes there and does something, I'll move them right back up. Season salvaged. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'll make my final pick on Friday during our Pigskin Picks here. Rutgers moved them up 1 to number 15, scored 2 field goals in the final 66 seconds to steal a win away from Purdue. Thought that was fairly impressive. Michigan State, they do not look good. There are questions about Jonathan Smith. Lost to Michigan, still looking for the first Big Ten win. You got Magic Johnson, an alum who's criticizing him on Twitter now. What's going on? So Michigan State falls to number 16. I've got Purdue and Wisconsin right where they were at. Purdue in the past 2 games has blown a win taken right out of their hands against Minnesota. And then the same thing happened against Rutgers back-to-back weeks. Very heartbreaking. And Wisconsin, again, with their offensive outage, power outage, I don't know what's going on with them. I thought they gave a good effort against Oregon, but not good enough. At least they finally scored, but they're still in our basement at number 18. So those are our power rankings as we see them. I always welcome your comments. Did I get your team right? Did I get your team wrong? Let me know. And let's hash it out a little bit. Hit me up in the comments section on YouTube. If you are new, hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We are all things Big Ten every day. Don't forget, if you're Apple, Spotify, we got the audio version, video version on YouTube, whatever you need. We're here every day, so you don't miss a single episode. We're going live on Saturday, as we always do. I'll give you the details there in a moment. But also, if you could share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten as well. Don't forget, we have a website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. We have all of our podcasts go there. You can go back and check out yesterday's podcast in case you missed it. And for a second listen, and we also have links there for merchandise from your favorite Big Ten school. You want to get a shirt with your team logo, pennants, hat for you, a friend, family member. Christmas is 2 months away. Check it out. TalkBig10.com. All right, we'll talk about our Saturday plans. All that coming up in just 1 minute as we continue here on Locked On Big Ten. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride. They have all the safety awards you can imagine, from footwork to breath work. Athletes sweat out all the details. And then Mazda brings this same intention on how they craft each and every model and every vehicle they make. You can feel the Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from metallic accents, the available Napa leather upholstery, and you can make everyday drives to the store or long weekend trips feel special, just smooth, give you all the power in the world. And like our players that sweat every detail, same thing with car, because when you make every move count and the word impossible becomes irrelevant, Mazda, move and be moved. Speaking of moving, you got to exercise. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with a brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that can help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. You'll love Peloton IQ system because it offers real-time strength coaching. It actually tracks your reps and suggests the weights to use and corrects your form and makes every rep safer and smarter. Plus the new swivel screen, it's a game changer. You can go from running on Tread Plus to training, strength training with the weights. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. That's with the spelled out one, O-N-E, onepeloton.com. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten. All right, we got a big weekend coming up. You know, we always go live on the weekends because that way you get my real, raw, immediate reaction to these games, and I get yours too in real live time comments from you. So mark your calendars. We're going to go live Saturday around 7 o'clock, basically right after the Indiana at Maryland game. I was going to go after the Penn State, Ohio State game, but that's early in the day. We got all these other games going on. I want to be able to talk about as many as possible. So we'll talk about Penn State's game at Ohio State. We'll talk about Indiana at Maryland. We'll preview the USC Nebraska game. We got Michigan under the lights. We'll talk about all of that live Saturday. Mark your calendars. I'm guessing it's going to be around 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific with that. So looking forward to that. Especially appreciate all you guys making us your first listen each and every day, especially you everydayers out there. Thank you very much. Hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you don't ever miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like. And I know if you're a Big Ten fan, you are because you're watching and listening. You know other Big Ten people. Let them know we're out here every day. Hit that little share arrow and send this podcast their way. That would really help us out as well. Also, a note for you college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present the college football kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll from Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along with two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and all of our Locked On experts all come together, pull it all together, let you know everything you need to know going into the weekend. It's a college football preview that only Locked On can do. Catch the college football kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for your time. Again, always enjoy our visits, and I can't wait till we talk again tomorrow. We're going to discuss some Urban Meyer coaching rumors in the Big Ten. Plus, we'll have our Big Ten classics, all that coming up tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Craig Sheeman for Locked On Big Ten. We'll see you next time.